everyone, and welcome to the Červená Barva Press reading series. And for those of you that don't know me, I'm Gloria Mindock, editor and publisher at Červená Barva Press. And tonight, R.J. Jeffries is my co-host, and I'm very grateful for his help tonight. Our first reader is Dayna Leslie Hodges. Okay, she is a writer, artist, photographer, and actor. And her work, she expresses emotion, honesty, and vulnerability. And I give you Dayna.
Thank you, Gloria. Thank you. Okay, let me just put my screen down so I can get my poems. And thank you so much, Gloria, for inviting me to read. I really appreciate it. My first poem is called The Encounter. Wrapped in a dirty blanket, a man kneels in shadows of the crumpled wrinkles of noonday sun, shelters in hidden alcove until sun dissolves into night and people flee to their homes. He wanders incognito on the periphery of life, wants to be invisible to judgmental eyes. He walks the boulevard in worn out shoes and melancholic gaze when the streets are empty in woven threads of alley wanderings by night. This gentle man window shops, wishing for someone kind to talk to. A statuesque mannequin dressed in a ball gown invites him to stop in front of her shop window. He looks at her like she's a miracle, the most beautiful creature his eyes have ever seen. Her quiet demeanor comforts him, and she looks at him with sincere eyes. This lonesome man looks at her for the longest time, then begins to speak, and she doesn't leave. She stays, transfixed as she listens. This man, attired in threadbare rags, wrapped in his blanket of history, is mesmerized by her attention towards him. He is weary and forlorn, but this night, in her attentive presence, he feels comforted. He unwraps himself from his blanket shawl, lays it on the ground in front of the shop's window, and falls asleep in the company of this beautiful woman who cares enough to listen and makes him feel like he matters. She is real to him. And this night, that's all that matters. Tomorrow is another day, but this night, he feels safe. And this night, she watches over him, and he sleeps in the beauty of a dream. This poem is called Almost Like a Prayer. She is a girl in a woman's body. She watches the world through pensive, cautious eyes. She looks like wonder and mischief. A flock of curls frames her innocence. She holds her hands close to her face, almost like a prayer, yet clenched in fear, ready to protect herself. She keeps herself curled, doesn't want to be grabbed by the hand, pulled from her hiding spot. She is crouched in the corner between a locked door and a broken window. The cement ground is stained with indelible memories, and she sits amidst this debris of pointed pigment, of yesterday's abuse and today's haunting hallucinations. This poem, it's not titled, and it begins, I am sediment at the bottom of a glass, drowning in the small amount of water that remains from the moat I've wept, while wondering how to unwrap myself from this melancholic echo, from my hindered past, which hinders me still. This poem also is entitled. Ashes cling to the hem of her white gown. The subdued fabric drags over parched earth. She walks slow. Deliberate steps speak pensive upon the dirt road, leading her away from the smoldering blaze of fire that is her broken history. This poem is called The Button Keeper. Curio cabinet of buttons, once threaded into garments until harsh weather ripped the threads. The buttons fell off and they collapsed onto the ground. Their patina faded in the glare of desert sun. These forlorn buttons waited forgotten for eras until she found these dashed buttons with their faded hope strewn amongst brambles beneath winter's melted snow. She was on her own lonesome sojourn when she found these precious gems. They felt rough from time's neglect and seasonal disregard. Still, they felt whole in their distinctive roundness, easy to hold in her palm, like a secret she could hold on to in private hope. She scooped up every button with tender caution, as if they were newborn baby birds fallen from their nest. Placed those that overflowed her hands into her oversized pockets of her oversized wool coat, and took these treasures home, gently washed off the grime of antiquity's echo, and gave them a secure place to live the rest of their days. She visits them first thing every morning. Grace infuses her smile as she watches these ancient newborns in their shared nest, serene in their nascent life, fashioned with love. Hope is for eyes that look, and her eyes gaze with intention. Each eyelash is like a musical note, serenading the atmosphere with love songs, making everything more beautiful. Her soft countenance disarms even the most fearful, and her smile invites others to trust. These buttons rest easy in her care. This one is called Broken Compass. Walking backwards on a forward-moving barge is akin to walking in place, physically going nowhere, emotionally trying to comprehend the vast ocean of her history. She is lost in a brewing storm, searching with a broken compass for true north. Late afternoon light wilts into fade, behind rain clouds ready to burst, and the tempest ticking of time's urgency. She reaches for his hand, but all she finds is her own, and enwraps herself within her own embrace. Her true north died mere days afore. His fishing boat broke apart. Pieces of his boat crashed the shore in the moor's towering shadow after guillotine-like waves sliced through the ship. Her husband never surfaced. My love must be alive. I will not sleep till he returns. There is no evidence of life. Her broken compass is all she has. It is heavy, like dead weight heavy. She paces this barge, leaving indentations with each torrential footfall. She carries her sphere of anchored grief, and its gravity is fathoms above her head, pulling her down with memories of every moment they shared since they first met. Her pacing is like a mantra, a prayer, memories in metronome. She is in the darkest black of the ocean, wherein no light can reach. Her gaze is a blank stare. Shock has engulfed her body. The icy wind surges through her. No longer can she brace herself. Her fragile frame is no foe to the storm. She collapses onto the splintered, drenched wood planks of this barge of desperation. She has no fight left, and sleep overtakes her whimpering body like a tsunami. She is a shivering, broken compass. Her pulse cannot find home. This poem is called Sigh. I trace my fingers in concentric circles, trying to spiral my way to you, but all I am is dizzy. I unspool this epic narrative, attempt to fashion a map from the jangled directions of a broken compass without a true north. I search for a home, a hearth built with our hands. I follow stepping stones until they blend into earth, become compost for springtime seedling. I weigh my footprints, reach with hand-tinted memory for highlights in the black and white photograph of daydream. Repetition of dreams derailed weaken my parchment pulses. I stall in deep indentations, almost drown in concealed ruts. My souls know well this fragmented soil. Brambles scar my flesh with doubt. Though it tarries, I trust in love, and I believe our home will be. My fingerprints leave their sigh upon every leaf of longing. Caresses of curiosity lift every stone, looking for you. This poem is called Fading Light. And my father had dementia, and I took care of him for 10 years, my mom and I have a lot of poems about that, and I chose this poem for this reading. It's called Fading Light. The blank stare in Daddy's lost expression is like a home whose furniture is being rearranged, disappearing. A strange room filled with an echo of forgetfulness. No place to sit, just floor and ceiling and walls. So many walls pushing out memories. Bed, chairs, tables no longer invite remembrance. Dissolving design. A decorator with cruel intentions. Devoid of life. A subtraction of words, like a subtraction of furniture from room to room in his home. An emptying, a removing, like a loud clap of thunderous darkness, assaulting his brain. A ravaging storm breaking windows, shattering glass, shattering membranes and synapses, drowning in a room as water floods through broken glass, swells over windowsills. A robber's hand stealing memories, as if they had no meaning. Dressed in black with a mask to hide identity. This thief does not want to be known. There is no remedy for this theft, only loss, subtracting loss. An empty house, an echo of who he once was. I'm done.
Thank you so much, Dayna.
Thank you.